Thank you so much for joining me on today's live. Our topic for today is it's easy, but we often make it hard. Thank you for joining me on Instagram. I apologize, I'm looking at two different cameras right now. But today's topic is it's easy, but we often make it hard. So let's get right into what I mean by that. You see, there's sometimes we have things that we face in life that are really simple, but we just overthink and we make it hard. Let's take it to the basics. For example, you get up out your bed every morning when your alarm goes off. Now, sometimes that alarm goes off and you hit the snooze button 50 million times. I know I have done it. What's so hard about just getting up and getting out the bed and getting your day started? Absolutely nothing. But we make it hard because, the bed is comfortable, it's cozy, maybe it's the middle of winter, and you just don't want to get up and face the cold wind. But that's just an example of there are things that are in life that are easy, but we just make it hard. My shirt says Love Week. It's a shirt that I got while volunteering at Elevation Church. They have this Love Week every year where they just go throughout the city and volunteer. And I wore this shirt because love is another thing that is easy, but we make it hard. God's love is another thing that's easy to accept, but we make it hard. We make it hard because, we put up all these rules and regulations, but Jesus never ever gave us all these things that some people require you to do in order to be loved by God. God doesn't have any requirements for love. That's just another example of things that are easy, but we make it hard. Now, what sparked this topic was I was watching a sermon by T.D. Jakes, and he was talking about, I think it was Peter, who God told him to get out the boat, walk on the water, right? And as soon as he took his eyes off of Jesus, he began to sink. But what T.D. Jakes actually brought to our attention was that Peter could swim. So what was it in that moment where he totally forgot that he could swim that he immediately sank? And that's why I said, you know what? There are things that in life that are really easy, but we make it hard on ourselves. And I understand Peter. Maybe in that moment, he was in the middle of a miracle. He was actually walking on water and he probably wasn't thinking. And when he took his eyes off Jesus, maybe he absolutely forgot that he knew how to swim. So for some of us, swimming might be second nature. So I imagine if you are thrown off a diving board, as soon as you hit the water, you automatically start swimming. But for some people, instead of that instinct kicking in and they doing what they are purposed to do, what they are good at, what they know how to do, what they've practiced time and time and time and time again, they make things hard. I know my daughter who probably watched this live, and I'm only saying this out of love, but I'm going to use you as an example. My daughter can paint. She can paint her tail off. It comes natural and easy to her. She could probably do it in her sleep. But she's a perfectionist. I've seen her paint masterpieces and then just so over it because it wasn't what she envisioned in her mind. So for her, that is such an easy thing for her to do. What's hard is the overthinking and the part about, okay, this is not what I see in my mind. And I completely understand that. That might have been a bad example, but it was just the closest example I had of someone close to me who I know that sometimes when we do things, we make it harder than it really is. But that's probably a bad example because she's a perfectionist. And I understand it when it comes to your craft. But for us who have careers, jobs, or other things we're doing in life, maybe it is your gifts, your natural purpose that you're walking in, and maybe you're making it harder than it really is. A lot of times we do that because when I started these lives, I was thinking everything had to be perfect. I had to think about what I'm going to say. I was like, wait a minute, that just takes too much time. The whole reason I wanted to come on here was to be consistent, to simply be consistent. It doesn't take perfection. I didn't even know everything I was going to say tonight, but I jumped on a live. I said, hey, let's go for it. So another thing that we do is we try to make things perfect. And that's a way that we make things that are easy hard. I mean, if you're naturally a gifted artist, naturally a gifted speaker, maybe you're naturally gifted with something else, but you start to make it hard because of what other people think. Really, in actuality, I think that's what it boils down to. We place so much value on what other people are thinking about what we're doing, and that makes it hard. It comes natural and easy for us, but we do things to make it hard on ourselves. So don't make the easy thing hard. Forget everybody else's opinion. If you have been called and purposed to do something, you have it in you and you don't need someone else's approval. When Peter was supposed to be walking on water, he lost focus. He took his eyes off of Jesus. And not only did he forget that he could swim, he forgot that he was walking on water with the one who created the water. So there was no need for him to sink in God's creation because he was also part of God's creation. God's not going to let you drown in what he created for you to be. So he's not going to let you drown in what he created for you to walk on top of. So don't make things harder than they actually are. When your alarm goes off in the morning, it's as simple as hitting the alarm off button, not the snooze button, and jumping out the bed. We make things harder than they really are. So that is my tip for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I appreciate you being here on the live this evening. So tomorrow, when you go through your day, or even right now, if there's something going on, you're like, am I making this harder than it really should be? Probably are. So just take it easy and realize it's really not that difficult. You're natural at it. And if you are supposed to be doing it, just do it. I know that's a Nike saying, not trying to plagiarize on Nike, but we already know who says that, who made that popular. Just do it. Don't make it hard. Things that's supposed to be easy, we sometimes make it hard. And that's the message for tonight. I'll leave you with my saying. If you want to go places in life, you got to grow. The more you grow, the more places you will go. And wherever you go, be sure to give, because giving is the seed to your growth. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for joining me on whatever platform you're looking at. Easy said when that bed has a warm spot on a cold night. That is so true. But once again, it is just as easy to jump out the bed when your alarm goes off as it is on any other day. We putting those excuses in our minds. So I understand it's easy said, but you got to do it. All right. Like I said, just do it. Don't think about whether it's hard. Don't think about whether it's cold. Don't think about how difficult it is. Just do it. And don't make things harder than they really are. I think if we can do that, we will definitely get more done. We'll make progress quicker. Because for me, what if I had done these lives last year? My goal might have already been met. Who knows? But we can't live in the past, but we can live in now. And so right now, let's not make things harder than they really are. So I thank you for joining me, and you always have great comments. All right. Take care, you guys. Love you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.